Okay. I hope I am audible and my presentation is clear and visible. I have kept a
Sir, your voice is audible.
I've kept a second device with me to make sure that my video is visible to you so that I see what is going through the computer. So broadly looking at it, there will be three areas that I will be covering. What is artificial intelligence? We'll be discussing some of the application areas, and we'll also discuss some controversies related to artificial intelligence, but that will be towards the end and a little of it. And once I overshoot the time, I would have to close down, and my time is up to 12:30 if I'm correct. Yes, to start
Sir,
with,
up to 1 p.m.
So screen is
Up to
not
1
visible.
p.m.
Acha, okay, I can extend to 1. Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
So the screen is not visible.
My screen is not visible. No, I think it is visible. My screen
It
is
is
white.
visible.
Just one line is there. I have a second device connected, so I am seeing what is going to everyone. If you are not seeing my screen, there could be a difficulty in your Google connection, Google Meet connection. That's my hunch.
Yes, it is visible, sir. It is visible.
Right. So now let's look at the definition of artificial intelligence. Now, when I was a student, not a student truly, just after I graduated or completed my BTech, I joined as a faculty at NIT Rourkela. We're talking of early 90s and end of 80s. Possibly many of you in this group were probably not born, and some were toddlers, and many, and some would have been in schools and things like that. At that time, there was a lot of talk about artificial intelligence, but today the amount of talk on artificial intelligence is much greater than what it was earlier. There is a reason why it has happened, and we'll look at it at some point during my talk. There are few definitions that come up, and we'll take up on each of these. It is defined as the study of computations that make it possible to perceive, reason, and act. So the last three words are important: perceive, reason, and act. Still, in another definition, it is a field of study that seeks to explain and emulate intelligent behavior in terms of computational process. What is important here is emulate intelligent behavior in terms of computational process. That means you are doing something using computer and you are trying to emulate intelligent behavior. Now, when we say intelligent behavior, the intelligent behavior is in terms of biological systems, technically. Still another definition, a branch of computer science that is concerned with automation of intelligent behavior. That's a beautiful definition. We say automation of intelligent behavior. It is because we want to generate intelligent behavior, but this intelligent behavior is being created by artificial means through automatic processes. No one tells the computer or tells a hardware or tells a system to behave in that specific way. It is able to think, look at the information, and behave intelligently, or it is able to take action intelligently. Yet another definition, anything in computing science that we don't yet know and how to do it properly. It's very vague definition, because every day when we move across in science and engineering disciplines, every day we find new things, and with time we try to discover how the things work. So if we say we don't know how things work properly, it becomes more vague in that sense. One photograph on the right hand side, you can see it's the photograph of a very great person, Alan Turing. He was a professor at Manchester, UK. It's the time after our independence, but he was born before we got our independence. And he is considered to be the father of artificial intelligence. Now, at that time, he died at a very young age of 41. That's a very, very young age. Many of us in this room could be, I'm quite above that, but many of us in this conference or in this gathering would be beyond that age even. He was born in 1912. So in 1912, probably very little part of India had electricity. 1954.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, the screen, the PPT screen is not visible. I am able to see you, but I'm not able to see the screen. You're sharing actually.
Yeah, it is visible to us also. You just check your.
It is
I'm just
visible.
able to see you only.
Yeah.
Just tap it, sir. Tap it.
You go to
No,
the
we did it.
single view, person speaking, then it would come up. You might be having a matrix view, that may be a difficulty on computer. Now, he died in 1954. That was a time when not many part of my country, our country had electricity. The industrial revolution had not started. And he laid certain foundations in the field of mathematics, logic, computer, and in computer scientists. So these, whatever he had done, are showing the fruit now. This is very interesting to note. Very often, great scientists work and provide certain theory which never finds light within their lifetime. And maybe after 4 decades, 5 decades, 6 decades, 7 decades, the importance comes into picture and people try to use it considerably, and then things come in. Probably Alan Turing was one of such type of scientists, because if you look at it, the being called father of AI, the AI came in much later, but he postulated some theories which brought in the concept of AI, and they were very, very important. And you can see he worked in University of Manchester, National Physical Laboratory, University of Cambridge, great institutions. Now, let's look at how we define intelligence. As human beings, we are considered to be the best of the animal world. We are also called Homo sapiens. It's because we are wise. The human intelligence is important because as human being, in the animal planet, human beings have the maximum intelligence, and they are able to do a lot of things which no other biological system is able to attain. Thousands of years have passed through the process of evolution, process of training, process of technology. We have moved far and large. Of course, it's interesting, even after so much of things, we are passing through an unprecedented COVID crisis, and the whole world is unable to solve the problem. This is very interesting. We cannot take things for granted. When nature reflects back, it could be disastrous and we can't save it. Now, if you look at artificial intelligence today, we have got 3 things here. What it says, it's not just to understand what is intelligence, but to build systems that are intelligent. Now, the first one is a self-driving car, currently very popular in technology. Implementations have started, and it's called, some call it self-driving car, driverless car, and all that. Of course, few months back, not few months, probably last year, we got a news that there was an accident in one of the self-driving cars where a person had died, and there was a lot of hue and cry on that issue. So are they safe? Are they unsafe? And things like that. The second one is a automated vehicle. These vehicles could be used to work in places which are inhospitable, in radiation hazard environments and things like that. It has got 2 cameras which works like eyes for a human being. It has got 2 hands which can pick up objects and things like that. It has a set of wheels with which it can roll, and this can be installed in mines, inside nuclear activity areas, inside submarines, in closed small space where human beings cannot enter, but you want to observe what is happening. The third one is a robot. This robot looks like a fighter who can fight different enemies. And there are large number of movies which work on such technologies. And many of you who love watching English movies might have seen it. Looking at another side of definition, it is what is AI? This graph is an interesting thing. If you look at it vertically, the left side two things refer to humanly behavior. The right side two objects refer to rational behavior. If you look at the horizontal top two, they refer to thinking behavior. And if you look at the bottom two, they refer to acting behavior. Now, so this brings in with two parameters, thinking, acting humanly. So if you look at this and rationality, there are four things that have happened. The left quadrant, left top quadrant, which is the left top one, it is thinking humanly. So you want to, it's an object which can think, but thinks humanly. That sort of definitions are there. If you look at the right hand side top, it is thinking rationally. So that these two refer to thinking model, the definitions of thinking model. In the bottom one, you have thinking, acting humanly, and acting rationally. So you have thinking, acting humanly and rationally. Thereby, we have got four different types of definitions that have come up with AI. These definitions have been given by different scientists at different periods of time, and all these are in the last millennium. And we have taken this from an article or a book at the bottom, Artificial Intelligence and Modern Approach, which was published in 2002. Now again, why do you need it? After all, do we require artificial intelligence? Ultimately, if we don't require something, why should we invent it? Why should we spend time on it? Why should we depend on it? So looking at that, now what is it that it can do? And why should we use it? Look at the first point. With the help of AI, you can create software devices that can solve real-world problems very easily with accuracy. Some of the examples include health issues, marketing issues, traffic issues, and things like that. So what it says, you can solve real-world problems with the application of AI, artificial intelligence, and these problems can be solved very accurately and very easily. It's because here the system works intelligently, it uses the artificial intelligence in it so that it can think wisely like human being and work effectively. The second one, with help of AI, you can create your personal virtual assistants. What is a personal virtual assistance? You require some assistance in activity, you can create your virtual assistants. The examples are Cortana, Google Assistant, Siri, and etc. Now, all these, today, if you go to an insurance site, insurance company site, whether it is HDFC Life, whether it is ICICI Lombard, or whether it is any insurance company site, if you go there, or you go to an airline site, very often you will find they will have a AI assisted engine which helps you to answer your query. What happens 10 years back, 10 years before was, if you want to talk to somebody, that is one part. But if you want to do something using the computer and get some queries to be sorted out, you'd have to wait for your turn for an operator to come with you for a discussion. But now, initially you can talk to the computer. And when you type a question, the computer understands this question, translates the question requirements, gets the answer from the question bank or the answer bank in the computer and gives it back to you. There is no human intervention. It all works by a computer. Yes, when the computer does it, very often you will find, not very often, quite often you will find the answers that you get could be very, very absurd. They are far away from what you are expecting and what you expect to get. But it works. Sometimes you get your answer, sometimes you don't. But then ultimately, you get some of it And if your doubt gets cleared, you can always talk to the operator to get a better view of it. Next one, with the help of AI, you can build robots which can work in an environment where survival of women is at risk. This is a very popular thing that's happening today. There are many environments where robots are being used for different activities. One, the area being not cohesive for human being to work, a robot is better to be used. Second, the robot can work 24/7, 24 hours. It can work all days of the week. It doesn't need a leave, doesn't need food, only electricity is the one that it requires. So they are easy to implement. And in countries which have got shortage of manpower, it's much easier to implement. Not only that, if you have activities where there is a life risk, then it is the best one. Another application area, it opens path for other new technology, new devices, and new opportunities. Now, what it does, it opens up new areas for implementation. Now, one area similar today is medical diagnostics. Now, a doctor looks at your details and gives you a prescription. With time, very often, very soon you'll see a robot will be able to do that because this computer has artificial intelligence into it. It looks at all the details, finds out all the possible solutions, finds out the best for you, and prescribes. It is said 20 years from now, lawyers will lose their job because all information will be available and you can have an artificial intelligent engine to look at the case, find solution, and give a file a requirement. So jobs of lawyers will be at stake. That's how AI could work. There are many examples like that. So now looking at it, what are the goals that have been looked at with artificial intelligence? Now, first is main achievements or main goals that you want to do or engineers want to do is they want to replicate human intelligence with machines. That means you design a machine and this machine you want to put in human intelligence. We are far from that, but yes, for limited features, they are working and they are on a fairly mature state. Solve knowledge intensive tasks. That means you have a system where or you have a task which requires large amount of knowledge base, large amount of information. Here, the computer can do information. Yes, is there a difficulty? It can store a large amount of information, discuss this information or look at this information and give a solution. An intelligent connection of perceptions and actions. That means multiple actions can be linked by artificial intelligence machine. Build a machine which can perform tasks that require human intelligence. That means you are doing tasks which require intelligence of human being. Remember, machines can mimic a small work, but cannot mimic a large amount of work. Cannot mimic intelligence. Cannot mimic logical decision and action based on logical decision. Now, the use of artificial intelligence helps to do that. Creating some system which can exhibit intelligent behavior, learn new things by itself. This is very important. Learn new things by itself. This is one of the important characteristics of artificial intelligence. Demonstrate, explain, and advise its users. So it can show you what is happening. It can explain how to do it and advise a user what to do. Look at some examples that are there today. The first one is an industrial robot where a machine like a human being can lift things, take things from one place to another and things like that. The top one, the one with this, with a vehicle, space vehicle. A vehicle can go to the space because human beings cannot survive there. This vehicle can collect samples and bring back. And you all know recently what happened with India. Of course, we lost that space vehicle which was carrying all the details. Very similarly, today, a lot of appliances have started to use intelligence. Washing machines are using intelligence to find if you have less clothes, it will clean in one way. If you have more clothes, it cleans in another way. So that it conserves electricity, conserves detergent, conserves water, and conserves natural resources. Cameras have become intelligent. Why? The cameras can think where to focus. These things are available in today's mobile cameras. If you have a mobile camera, many of you, if you have a new mobile camera and you are taking a selfie, you don't have to click it. You simply wave your hand and it clicks it itself. That means when you wave your hand, the camera takes the picture, analyzes the picture continuously. When it finds that you are waving your hand, it understands, yes, this is the time it has to click. It gives a delay of 5 seconds and clicks the photograph. So, few other things. Today's Google, when you do a search, it uses intelligence, artificial intelligence. Today's medicine and diagnostics use artificial intelligence. We'll look at some of that later. Diagnostic is medical diagnostic, and medicine is one of the important areas where a lot of work is being done. And people say, maybe in next 10 years' time, the lower level doctors will be losing their job, because everything that you need, you give your symptoms for a general disease, you get your medicines. It even takes care of your allergies, takes care of your difficulties and all that, and prescribes proper medicines. That sort of thing would be coming very soon. But yes, when it comes to specialized treatments which are very, very rare in nature, you will need doctors undoubtedly. Now, when you look at artificial intelligence system, it requires certain components. And when we say components, we are talking of technologies in terms of building an artificial intelligence system. What are the things it encompasses? One is computer science, which is essence of it. You have psychology, because to design something which is artificial and can think, you need to understand psychology of human being, how human beings think. If you know how human being thinks, you can build a machine which thinks like a human being. Next is neuroscience. Neuroscience is one where you are building a machine which works like a human being. Now, a computer can be written a program. This program can mimic a human being, but it doesn't behave or doesn't work like a human being. But neuroscience is a field where scientists are working towards mimicking how human brains function. So, if I hit a person, the person falls. What happens in the body that when the person is hit, he or she falls? When we feel hungry, we go and eat something. So when we feel hungry, what is it that happens in our body that we want to eat? Today you can see many people who have a difficulty in hearing. They use a hearing aid. But then there are people who have a difficulty in hearing, but it's not a physical difficulty, it's a neural difficulty. There are cases where a machine can be fitted, a small computer can be fitted. This computer, in connection with the brain, can perform well. And hearing deficiencies can be reduced considerably. Next is biology. After all, human body is a biological system, or if you want to mimic an animal, it's also a biological system. Essentially, artificial intelligence means you are trying to create intelligence artificially. Intelligence is associated with biological system, so it is also a biological system. Then it has got logical thinking. You cannot do anything intelligently without a logical thinking. So that brings in philosophy into factor. Not only that, if I say today a child 3 years old, you ask 5 plus 5, the child can't answer. But once the child learns a bit of mathematics, learns the tables and all that, if you ask 5 multiplied by 7, Does the child count 5 into 5 across 1 is 5, 10, 15, 20 like that? No. It suddenly comes from the mind. It is because the child has got the art of calculation of that. And those things come from mathematical foundation. Sociology is a behavior of human being with other human beings, society, and animals. That's one more factor which affects artificial intelligence today. All these fields together provide the ecosystem for artificial intelligence. And artificial intelligence has developed with contribution of all this. Depending on the application that I use, different technologies are used. Some of the advantages, first is they are accurate and less error. If I can design a system with a specific requirement, it works tirelessly for the same requirement without any error. A human being doesn't do that. If a human being is doing a work, depending on mood, depending on physical condition, the work can get affected. But when a machine does a work, the work is the same, irrespective of the condition of the machine. Of course, the accuracies could vary a bit. But then, the errors are less than machines compared to human beings. Human beings can think and do better, do new things, but machine can do the same thing with less error, time and again. Next is high speed. They have to work at very, very high speed like biological systems. The system should be reliable. For the same command, an artificial intelligence system or an AI machine should do the same work every time it is asked to do so. Human beings can behave differently. You ask for a glass of water at a restaurant, the same waiter may serve the glass of water in different ways. That is how human beings do it in different ways. If you have a child, 4 or 5 years of age, learning to count numbers, there are chances out of 10 times, maybe 1 or 2 times the child could make a mistake in terms of numbers. While you write spelling, you write 100 words every day, the same set of 100, there is a chance one day one word will be mistake. Even though you know it, you commit a mistake. But a machine works reliably, and if it is artificial intelligence machine, it works accurately and reliably. Useful for risky areas. Now, what is risky area? It is the areas or work where human being life could be at risk. Some examples like defusing a bomb, working in ocean floor, working in areas contaminated with poisonous gas, working in areas, I think few years back, around 20 years back, we had one of the tragedies in Bombay, terrorist attack in Hotel Taj. Now in those areas, because you know there are terrorists, human being, there is a life risk for human being or the security people to go and work. Those places, AI-based robots can work. So primarily, areas where there could be life risk, it is easy to deploy robots and artificial intelligence systems. Spacecraft is another one, because it's sending a person in a spacecraft to outer space could be very expensive. But if a robot can do it or an artificial intelligence system can do it, it's easier to achieve that. It can work as a digital assistant. What is digital assistant? You are logging to an e-commerce site to buy something. You are logging into Indigo website to buy a flight ticket. But you want to find out whether there is a flight, what sort of rules are there. You can always use the digital assistant in the website to get the information. And these work with AI. Useful as a public utility. Now, as a public utility, one is a self-driving car, which can be safe. Facial recognition for security purpose. You come to a building, you are scanned for your security or for your recognition. They scan you, and the AI system can say, yes, you are permitted or not. So the requirement of a pass, individual showing identity card, all that can be taken away, because the machine can take your photograph, recognize who you are, permit you or not permit you. So these are some of the areas where artificial intelligence is showing advantages. But then there are certain disadvantages. One is the technology has high cost. But remember, technology costs simply do not decide what can be implemented. With time, the cost of technology changes. The cost of technology starts to go down, and we adopt multiple technologies with time. And technology changes. 20 years back, when mobile phone services came to India, it was so expensive, not everybody could afford it. It was even difficult to make a phone call because making a phone call used to cost about 5 rupees per minute, a local call. And if you are making a national call, it could be as high as 10 rupees a minute. But today, mobile services have become so cheap. You hardly spend anything to make a call. If you have internet service, you can make calls, even international calls, for free. So, high cost is one factor today, but with time, things change. Can't think out of box. Now, any machine we make, they cannot think out of box. That means a machine will work based on the design it is made for. Until this is designed to work in a specific way, the machine will not work in that way. So, it cannot do different things for the same conditions. It cannot decide things that, yes, today it is hot, I have to change something. For doing that, it has to have some amount of intelligence. Feeling and emotion. I think this is one of the greatest things that animals and animal planets or the living beings have. They have feeling and emotion, and machines do not have that. And there are many jobs and responsibilities where feeling and emotion is important. Imagine a situation, you have a doctor who is taking care of patients, and you have a robot who is taking care of patients. The same one patient, a patient is a terminal cancer patient, and he has probably 10 days to live. If he goes to the robot, what will the AI machine say? The AI machine will say, your case is this is your trouble, this is what the symptoms are, this is what the diagnostic is, you have got 10 days to live. Goodbye. Think of the effect it has on the individual. But when a doctor speaks to the individual, the doctor tells, yes, there is a problem, you don't have a long time to live, but I think you should not be pessimistic, you should be optimistic. Get your family members to discuss, we'll find out what other treatments can be followed. At least the human being who is going to die after a few days may have more confidence to live for the remaining part of their life. But when machines work, they don't work in the same way. They are going to increase dependency on machine, because the moment we bring in intelligent machines, they will be doing all the work. So our machine dependence will go on increasing, which could be catastrophic. No original creativity. Artificial intelligence brings in intelligence into the system, but it does not bring in creativity into the system. Intelligence and creativity are different things. An intelligent person can solve a numerical. A creative person can write a poem. An intelligent person is one, if I solve 5 questions of similar type, he can solve 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But if the individual is not creative, changes in the numerical will affect the solving capability. Very similarly, a machine cannot do the job like a human being, because it does not have creative potential technically. Now, some of the important things, as I said, artificial intelligence was adopted in 1956, long back, before any of us were born. I think there could be some who would have been born in 1956. That means it started somewhere around 65 years before. It was coined in a proposal for a conference in 1956 at Dartmouth College. And people found the term interesting, and it was adopted in that conference. If you look at the history of it, this tells you how the artificial intelligence systems have developed over the last so many years, starting from 1940s, going up to 5 years back. First one is the evolution of artificial neuron. Artificial neuron is a technology or the smallest component of human computing machine. So, if you look at the smallest component of the cell of a human nervous system, that's called a neuron. And this is the time when people started to understand how neurons. Is there a difficulty?
No, sir, please continue.
Okay. Then 1950, we had the Turing machine that was invented by Turing. What it did, you can see the picture, the small picture. There is an operator in between. The blue one is an operator. The top blue left one, the top blue one is a machine. And the right hand side yellow one is an individual. Now, this operator can be replaced by a machine. The bottom one can be replaced by a machine. If the communication between the two, the computer and the human being, through this machine or the human being, is made, and the individual is unable to detect that yes, it is a machine answering me or it is a computer answering me, that means you've achieved the task of artificial intelligence. 1956, the Dartmouth conference led to the foundation of AI, and AI was termed as an technology, 1966 came in what is called Elijah. It was the first chatbot. Chatbot is a technology where you have a messaging application on the computer. You write your question and you get your answer. And it is able to give you the answer without a human intervention. 1972, the robots came in. First intelligent robot came in. And between 74 to 80, the artificial intelligence started to take shape. And from here, what came in 1980 were expert systems. The expert systems were designed to do work in an experienced way by taking a artificial intelligence engine. Then came 87 to 93. This came in the second AI revolution. Now, 87 to 93 was the time when major changes took place in terms of computer design. The computers became economical. Computers changed from mainframe computers to laptops, PCs, and lot of changes took place in respect to personal computing space. That brought in a lot of change in artificial intelligence. 1997, IBM came with something called IBM Deep Blue. It was the first computer, and it beat the human being in a chess competition. Really beautiful. A chess competition, a machine beating a human being. But at that time, this computer was really enormous. It's very, very big. 2002 came in. What came in were AI were used in homes. You have a camera. This camera has got artificial intelligence. It can detect who is coming into the house. Whether the individual who is coming is a thief or a normal human being who is supposed to come in. It could do that. 2011, there was a competition between IBM computer and Watson, and where it was a quiz competition, and IBM Watson wins the quiz. So here, in a quiz competition, a computer could search for answer and give the right answer. Remember, when the computer searches for the answer and gives the right answer, a human operator is not doing anything. It is the computer which takes the question, analyzes the question, searches for the answer, and gives it. 2012 to now, it is the age of Google, and Google brought in what are called artificial intelligence to the system. Next one, chatbot engine, Gushman. This is again another AI-based chatbot which could communicate with others. Very recently, we are seeing from last 5 years, 2015, what came in was Amazon Echo. In Amazon Echo, you ask a question, the Amazon Echo or the device is able to give you an answer. Not only that, you ask it to switch on the light, it switches on light. Play music, it plays a music. So these things have been, this works with what is artificial intelligence engine. Of course, in today's world, this hardware doesn't have artificial intelligence, but that intelligence is somewhere else, but the device works and achieves the task of a artificial intelligence system. So it has intelligence in it. Some developments that have started from 1642 to 2018. Very interestingly, you will find today, most universities have a course in artificial intelligence. It is said with time, the implementation of artificial intelligence will increase day by day, and everything we use will have artificial intelligence. Today, you will find many of the call centers of companies are artificial intelligence enabled, but sometimes it really becomes a nuisance because it tries to take you round and round and you never get to the solution. That's a demerit or a flip of it, but it's true. 2002, something interesting, iRobots launched. So, very similarly, 2011, IBM Watson defeated US chess game, defeats human being in US chess game. So, different things have taken place over the time. Computers have started to work. Now, interestingly, you can see here 1997, computer program Deep Blue beats world chess champion Garry Kasparov. 1997, Kasparov was beaten in chess by a computer. Remember, this computer was no joke because this computer was very, very big, which could think a lot and do it. Of course, today things are much different because technology has changed. And we have one slide towards the end which discusses a bit of that. We discussed it a bit. I think I'll skip this Turing test. Okay. Now, looking at artificial intelligence, now what is it that contributes ideas to this field of science or field of engineering truly? So what it has philosophy, mathematics, economics. Philosophy because it has to think like human being. It has to, the brain it has to function like a brain. It has to have knowledge and use that knowledge to get into action. Mathematics to use algorithms and calculate things. Economics in the sense that based on the output it gets, it has to make a decision so that the returns are high. Now, let's look at a small example. I think everybody understands this figure. It's a small game that we have played in our childhood, crosses and circles. And every child at the age of 7, 8 would have played it. And it was in my childhood, it used to be one of the beautiful pastimes for kids. And it has a lot of intelligence that goes into it. What does it mean? Now, if you want a computer to play with you, you can appreciate what sort of things that the computer has to work and do. Now, initially the computer has to put a cross on one of these. And how many boxes are there? 9 boxes. So it has got 9 options available. Now, once this option is available, now if I put a cross at this place, left top corner, the next player will put a circle. And where is it going to put the circle? The idea is you want to find out all places where a circle can be put and also find out the opponent should not be able to win it. If I look at all that points, it gets tougher. And the computer has to think to do that. A very, very simple game of crosses and circles, and you find a computer has to think so much and so vast, it's really difficult. Now you see the first one, the choice is between 9 places. The second one, for each of the 9, you have got 8 choices. For the third one, for each of the 72, because this had got 9 choices, for each there are 8, so you have got 8 into 9 are 72 choices. For 72 choices, you have 7 each, then you have got 9 into 8 into 7 choices available here. So as you move down in this ladder, the number of choices keep on increasing. As human beings, we are able to think of it very logically and very simply. A child of 10 or 12 years of age is able to think about it and play very comfortably and win. But if you want a computer to do it, computer has to make a lot of calculations, use combinations to find out where the next step has to go in so that the computer does not lose out. This is called a search space. Search space means I find at this point there is a cross here and a circle here. The computer is playing for the circle. So because the computer is playing for the circle, for the next stage, the computer, if I assume that the computer is playing for the cross, at the next stage, it has to think for each position, what are the circles, what are the places it can put a circle. Not only that, it also has to think the outcome of that. So, if it puts a circle here, where the output is going to be, and whether it is going to be winning streak for the individual or the opposite side is going to win. Accordingly, it has to pick the one which it finds the maximum winning chances. This is a classic example used for search space. So any computer to be intelligent must work with a wide search space. So what does typically AI do? Some people say it's one more form of knowledge representation. So select the proper knowledge through a search mechanism. Search for knowledge, represent knowledge, use the two to solve your task. Now, which are the places where it is used? Games, decision tree, combination of rules to select production system, networks of various forms, and other types of things. So there are many, in the world there are many problems where you work in. I think somebody has switched on the microphone. Yeah, it's better.
I made it.
I think it's okay now. It has died down. So primarily what you are looking at, whenever you work with this, for the next step always you have a large space to be searched and pick up the right one. This decision has to be taken up in a very short interval of time. Sometimes that time could be thousandth of a second or it could be millionth of a second. And doing that efficiently is the work that many need to do. There are broadly two types of artificial intelligence systems. One is called type 1 and another is called type 2. Type 1 are called narrow AI in one type of classification. You call it as narrow AI, general AI, and strong AI. Narrow AI means there is some amount of artificial intelligence in it, very little use. General AI means there is some amount of use. Strong means a hardware or a system where lot of AI is being implemented. There is another type of classification. It is how the system works. A reactive machine. Reactive machine means it takes an input and gives a result because of that. Thereby, it helps a process of decision making. A limited memory machine. So when you do a process of decision making, you need to remember a lot of information. But always remembering a lot of things is difficult because remembering means you need a lot of memory. A machine to have memory, the cost goes up. So you want to have machines with limited memory. A small amount of memory, but with that small memory, it is able to do the work. A calculator is able to do the work with small amount of memory. A computer has got large memory than a mobile phone. So the computer is able to do more work. So with a limited amount of memory, how you do the job. Another thing that goes into it is the theory of mind. So how the brain works, and do you want to mimic the brain in an artificial intelligence system? So how does the brain work? Understanding that is also a type of artificial intelligence work. And self-awareness. Self-awareness means detecting, learning from own knowledge, developing that knowledge. Not only that, with newer information, improving the knowledge to do better in the future. It is exactly how human beings work. A child is running on the road, the child falls, tipping with a stone. Next time when the child runs, finds a stone on the road, the child will simply bypass it or jump over it. That is the process of learning and awareness to the surrounding. So surrounding awareness is important for artificial intelligence systems. An artificial system, if it can understand surrounding, its behavior is much better. Another way of classification is here. One type of system is called narrow AI. These are dedicated for single task. Another is called general AI. They perform human-like behavior. Super AI that work more intelligent than human being. Now, what is narrow AI? It's a small dedicated task. Very simple. A robot arm in an industry. Its job is to do a welding. It will keep on doing the welding intelligently, same quality always. General AI is performed like human, means like we do. It will do smaller things as human being, think about it, but the intelligence thought is less. Last one is intelligent than human being. Here, the intelligence is more. It is primarily backed up by a large memory. Human beings have a limited memory. Human beings could have more logical thinking, but here a super AI could have comparable logical thinking, but much stronger computational power by which it is able to exceed the performance of a human being. It's very similar to things like supercomputers are able to do the calculations which human beings are unable to do. If you look at how an AI system or agent works, this is another classification. A simple reflex agent means given a action, it gives a reflex to it. A model-based reflex agent, what happens here? First one is simple. So it's like a question answer. Model-based means depending on the type of question, it uses a different model to give the answer. So essentially, if you ask a question related to medical, it will pick up answers from medical terms. If you ask a question related to travel, it will pick up something with travel. This is very similar to what Google does today. If you ask Google a question on travel, it will pick up, very likely it will give you something from travel related information. If you ask something related to weather, it will give you an answer with respect to weather. It will not mix up generally because these are model-based agents today. Goal-based agents refer to the ones where there is a specific task to be performed and the artificial intelligence system takes up that task only. Now, in a goal-based and utility-based, in a utility you are doing a broader task, in a goal-based it is doing a very, very small and specific task. The last one is a learning agent. Learning agent is the most intelligent among the four. What it does, based on the previous work it has done, it learns to train itself or learn itself or train itself and do new things for the future. Learning, when implemented with AI, it becomes very, very strong. Now, what happens in a simple reflex agent? You have an environment. Some information comes from environment to a sensor. This sensor looks at it and an action rule decides what is to be done and the action is generated. It is a simple of all. There is a information, Based on the information that you get, you take a action. Now, next one is model-based exercise. What is model-based exercise? You'll see, interesting part is, these two are remaining the same. The first to the right hand side. The environment gives the input, gets the action. This input now how it does? It takes in system model from outside. So it takes in state, how the world evolved, how many actions and all other conditions. With that, it gives the action and then the action is given. So there is a model to decide what action will be taken. In the first one, there is no model. Simply there is a question and the answer comes in immediately. But here, based on the question, the model will change and the answer will come in separately. Goal-based, you want to find out, yes, given this, what is my result? Or if I take a different method, what will be the result? Alternatively, you decide what you want to do. So the machines will decide and will come to the decision and pick up the right solution. Utility-based is a step further. In the model-based, it finds out options and do it. But here, it finds the option, finds out the results of the options, and based on these results, it finally picks up the right one. So there is some more decision going into it, and the utility box here comes in, which tries to find out, will the action be beneficial? If it is yes, it does it. Learning agent. Learning agent, what it does, it thinks more like human being. That means if it does something 5 times, if it does something 5 times, is there a difficulty? Hello? I think somebody has the microphone on. That's what is causing some difficulty. Please switch off your microphone. So in a learning agent, it looks at the previously what the machine looks at what was done previously. Based on those actions, it tries to learn itself for the future action. We as human beings work in a similar way. It's like if the weather is cloudy, we would tend to take an umbrella. This is based on learning. You go once with an umbrella, you get drenched. You understand, yes, if I don't go with an umbrella on a rainy day, I'll get drenched. So you carry your umbrella. If you live in a desert, you never look at thinking of taking an umbrella. So these are all based on learning with past. So learning agent is one technique where an artificial intelligence system learns with previous background or the previous experience. I think we discussed this. Now, self-driving car is one where a lot of AI has gone in, and it is going very popular. I think we don't get into the details of it. Here we have some agents which perform different tasks. The first one is a medical diagnosis. What it has, there are performance issues details, environmental details, actuators, how you do it, and sensors which takes in information. All these help to generate the medical diagnostic for a patient in an artificial intelligence system. Now remember, a vacuum cleaner, a small, simple vacuum cleaner. What it does, it has to clean. It has to clean efficiently, that means use less power. It has to conserve battery life. It should not cause a hazard like electrocution and things like that. Where it is going to work is the environment. It can work in rooms, tables, wooden floor, carpet floor. It should be able to work with obstacles. How does it work? To move, it needs wheels. It must have brushes to clean things, and it must have a vacuum extractor to suck the dust. So in order to do all this, how it will do it? It will use a camera to look at and do the job, find out where there is dirt, dust, find the place where it has to go. It has to be able to sense and navigate its path. If there is a obstruction on the passage, it has to bump that or go across through it. Or there could be sensors on the wall. All these, when connected properly, they could constitute a vacuum cleaner. Very similarly, in industry, you have what are called part picking robots. These are very popular in automobile industries. In automobile industries, every part is created with a single robot. Like if you have a body, you have the bonnet. The bonnet is welded, it is cut. All these are done by robot. You have a painting section, it's done by a robot. You have a what you call is lighting, that's done by another one. So each of these robots that you have, gradually with time, they are getting fed with the intelligent system, so that artificially they are made intelligent, so that it can look at the details, pick up the right object. Earlier, one part has to be done by one machine, but today, one machine can use 10 parts and fix them at right places. So if it has to work with 10 parts, your machine must know which part it has picked up and where that part has to be fitted. So these become artificial intelligent techniques. Now, there are different activities related to AI. One of these AI related things is called machine learning. Machine learning is a technology where a machine is made to understand and decide for future with the process of learning. You teach it to do something. As a child is taught. If you remember, many of you would have learning alphabets. How did you learn to write alphabet? Now your teacher would have taken a slate or a notebook, asked you to write letter A 20 times, letter B 20 times, C 20 times, like that. Some of you with your children may be following the same process. So when you write 20 times each, you learn to know the writing of each letter. Then what you do? In one page you write A, B, C, D and repeat that page. So you learn to write multiple letters. Next, you write from A to Z and repeat it on different stages. Then what you do? You start to build writing words. So this is how the intelligence is built into the human being. Human being has a biological system, but you need to train the biological system to do it. And this training at nursery level is done in this way. So very similarly, a machine has to be learned or taught to do something, and that mechanism of making the machine to learn something is called machine learning. Another technique is called expert system. Expert system is one where a machine is given information and it logically analyzes the information and gives a solution. Like airline ticket booking, insurance investment, the artificial agent that help you to give answers in the computer. Next one is natural language processing. Natural language processing is a discipline which is gaining lot of importance. Today. What it is doing, if I have a sentence, can I find the meaning of it and take action accordingly? So process the language, which means if I can process natural language, can a machine write an essay? Or if a student has answered a question, a subjective type question, can a computer correct it and think, yes, it's logically correct, grammatically correct, and based on the question, the answer is correct. Speech recognition is another one. Speech recognition is the one where when you speak, the computer is able to pick up and convert it to text. Now, this has got two applications, speech to text conversion and text to speech conversion. It's pretty popular today. If you use Google, you can speak something and it gives you a query and gives you the answer. This is because of AI or artificial intelligence. Other application areas could be planning something. Robotics is one of the very, very important areas. And vision. Vision refers to what we do with eyes. Lot of application of artificial intelligence is being used in vision. In vision, you have got things like machine vision, image recognition, number plate decision, image capturing, security cameras, lots and lots of applications. Video processing, photograph processing, individual detection, and things like that. Now in this, we have found, or we have put in some of the applications that are very popular with AI technique. We go one by one, not in details. We start with astronomy, refers to studies of science and science with respect to extraterrestrial bodies. Healthcare, we want to use science and computers to help in healthcare. What medicine an individual would require, what sort of diagnostic to be done. Can a doctor in our country, the number of doctors are less. Can I have a computer to replace a doctor intelligently? Agriculture, we find sometimes the pest control becomes a tough task because you use a lot of chemicals. Can I use robots to do the job? Or depending on weather, can I use artificial intelligence system to tell me how much irrigation has to be done? Now I have a field, I cultivate something. I've decided to cultivate wheat. Now if I've decided to cultivate wheat, there is a time when there has to be water has to be given. Now on that day, I want to automate it. I do not want to spend a lot of time in the field. Can I have an artificial intelligence system which can think of that? Education. It is getting into education quite a big way. There are small work that you want the robots to do. Now people are looking at the process where answer script corrections can be done by robots. Another one, today everyone is studying on online mode. In an online mode, can I do the invigilation using artificial intelligence? The individual who is appearing in the exam has switched on the camera. Can this camera information be used intelligently to monitor the individual? Plus, difficult experiments, can they be shown using these techniques? E-commerce is another one. We have been using, everyone must be using today things like Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra, and whatnot. And all these sites use a lot of AI. You'll see, if you buy let's say you buy a shirt, immediately you will find it will suggest you to buy a trouser. If you buy a sari, it might suggest you to buy a dress or suggest you to buy a matching pair of shoes. If you buy a mobile phone, it will suggest you to buy a screen guard or a back cover. Or it could even suggest you to buy a memory card. If you buy a computer, it will suggest you to buy a laptop bag. It's very interesting. E-commerce is using artificial intelligence very, very massively. And because of that, they're able to see the analytics. Now you'll find if some of you have done shopping through Big Basket, you buy rice today, 5 kg of rice. Second time you buy 5 kg of rice after 20 days. Then you'll find after 20 days of the second time, it will automatically give you a message saying that you need rice now. Would you like to buy one? And there is a price advantage. Typically, they do all that. Entertainment. Now, movies are being designed, and when you make movies, they use a lot of special effects today that use a lot of artificial intelligence techniques. Robotics, we discussed it. Automobiles, multiple ways, automobile production, and also automobile self-driving cars and all that. Social media is another one which uses AI very strongly. Facebook, Google, Google Plus, LinkedIn, anything you call it, it uses an artificial engine. WhatsApp, they all use it. Data security is another one. What is data security? Data security is the science where the information is stored in a secured manner and unauthorized access is not permitted. This is one of the very important areas of computer science people today. There is a lot of demand for people working in data security. Now, artificial intelligence is being used to store information securely and retrieve information securely. Finance. In finance, stock market is one, company performance is another. These are being handled using AI techniques. Gaming, computerized games. So all these applications, almost everything that we do today has got artificial intelligence being used strongly in them. Now, some applications, one is bioinformatics. Again, it comes to the field of biomedical or the medical engineering. Gene expression data analytics, prediction of protein structure. These two things, what it means, human beings get their nature and get everything from expression in gene, which again relates to DNA, RNA and all that. And we analyze all that today. There are scientists who analyze this information to find out different things. Text classification and document sorting. Today you write 100 words, you can sort them in alphabetical order, just flip of a second. You don't have to do anything. This is because document sorting are possible using what are called text classification mechanism. Video image classification. Now, if we're going on to the, let's say you go to YouTube. In YouTube, you put a keyword. The moment you put a keyword, you get a lot of suggestions or video suggestions. How does it work? It works because it uses artificial intelligence to tell who you are, if you are already a user. It uses your old habit to tell you what you would like to view in future. If you watch 5 movies, it will always suggest you for the 6th movie. On Facebook, if you see 6 videos, next time you log in, it will automatically suggest you another 5 more, which match with the previous ones. These are all by artificial intelligence. Another area is natural language processing. In natural language processing, you want to handle normal language using computers. Remember, handling normal language using computers has been very, very difficult task. A computer cannot write an essay. You can make it to remember an essay and then type it back, but if you change a little, it cannot do it. So then, if I have written something, can the computer understand and give me answer? This is natural language processing, and today it has got a lot of demand and a lot of people are working. Perceptions is another one. What do you feel about a sentence? That's what is perception. Now, look at an example of look at the perception of image understanding. I can have a computer, and this computer can understand an image and tell me what is there. So you can see the left-hand side image. It has got flower, it has got fruits, it has got yogurt, it has got a tap, it has got a cup, it has got coffee, it has got some drink, it has got a soda bottle, there is a banana, there is a knife, there is a fork, there is a plate. Then you have got oranges, then you have got jelly, you have got a lot of things. A computer with artificial intelligence, you can analyze the image and tell what is there in this and what each of the thing is. In healthcare, as I said, what do you do typically? You would use artificial intelligence to analyze a patient's information in healthcare for predicting the health of the individual or doing treatment of individuals. Take this example. What you see here is 2 sets of images. The bottom images refer to lungs and the top images refer to heart. Now, looking at the image of heart and lungs, a doctor can say what is the condition of the patient, and in today's time, For detecting the corona cases, this has been used very effectively. You'll find today when a patient is diagnosed with COVID-19, very often the doctor asks them to take a CT scan of the lungs. This is required because they want to find out how much the lungs has been damaged. And with that, they try to give the line of treatment. So this is something where AI is being used. This AI can look into the pictures and give you diagnostic and inform or give you expert opinion. Now this can happen in remote areas also because you have a dearth of doctors. But if the technician can take the CT scan, a computer can analyze it and tell, yes, this is what can be used. This we discussed. Autonomous rovers which can move on inhospitable weather or in moon or in the space. Spacecrafts, how do they go? How do they work? AI is the one which helps them to work. Another is analysis of data. These pictures refer to outer space data. So you can take these outer space data and use artificial intelligence techniques to analyze them and get meaning out of them. A image guided surgery. Now you have an image here. Now with this image, the machine can do a surgery. You have a robot can do the surgery. Now the advantage of robots doing the surgery is they are very accurate in their work. When a doctor or a human being does a surgery, the human being accuracy is not as high as a machine accuracy. Machines can work at millimeter level. Human beings cannot work at millimeter level. So when there are critical surgery like brain, these techniques work very well. Another is image analysis and enhancement. You have an image on the left hand side. You want to take that image and give a better image from that. So it extracts the information. It says Shaker K, Virginia. So this is very much useful in number plates of vehicles. When the vehicles are traveling on highways, when you take a picture, the number plate may not be very, very distinct. But using these techniques, you can get the number plate in much superiority. Transportation. So when the vehicles, you can use these AI techniques in autonomous vehicles. So the vehicle will travel without a driver or driverless car and reach its destination. Pedestrian detection. A vehicle is going, it's an automatic vehicle traveling. A pedestrian is crossing the road. The vehicle has to stop because the pedestrian, or else there could be accident. So this is where AI or artificial intelligence is being used to detect the individual. Gaming. Games is one of the biggest areas where this is being used. Game of chess is another application where people use it. Robot toys is another one where kids love it today. Then in movies, lots of movies use artificial intelligence. So what they have, lots of movies are there today, and they use AI-based graphics capabilities so that you get a excitement or people are excited looking or watching the movie. If we look at real life, it's very interesting. The first picture, if you look at, if you take a Google group photograph today, and if you have got individual names stored in Google picture, you'll find the moment you take the new photograph, it all immediately tells you who are the individuals in the photograph. A beautiful application. A chess champion where the computer could win. A robot-based production area on the right-hand side top. The bottom right one is a surgery, is a brain surgery or a neurosurgery being carried out by an artificial intelligent machine. The next one, you can see the insect. It's a PCB or it's an electronic device being made by a robot. Now, over the last 50 years, these AI-based techniques have been used in almost every field of life to talk of. What are the difficulties? One thing that people think is robots could take away our jobs because robots are cheaper. With time, they're becoming cheaper and cheaper. They would take away some of the jobs. Yes, they have started to take up jobs naturally because they were brought in to take away jobs from human beings. In an industry, human beings have to work in 3 shifts. You have to pay them salary and all that. If a robot can work 3 shifts, just with electricity as an input and the initial investment, companies find it cheaper for repeated jobs. Plus, they don't make mistakes and they don't go on strike. This is one that is holding people from venturing into this field of artificial intelligence, because when you make systems or machines more and more intelligent, they are going to replace human beings in many of the fields of work. And that is where the conflict of interest is coming in. And another is growing laziness. As an individual, we will stop doing work and we will work the machine to do everything. And it has its own merits and demerits, truly. Another is priority argument. Yes, when you have computers doing things, they take a priority over human being, and human being could be laid off from work. Other things could be the relationship between human being and robots and the cost involved. If you have seen the picture, Rajnikant's picture on robot, you would know the second point, robot-human relationship. Of course, in that case, in this movie, the robot had a sentiment also, which generally is not the case. But yes, scientists are looking at bringing in those things into robots, and there could be these automation techniques or these artificial intelligence techniques could be disastrous at some point. So it's primarily with respect to thought. They think like, they have a thought like human being. They think rationally. They behave like human being, and their behavior is also rational. This is a matrix which talks of it. I think I can just skip this with each of these points. So, thought and rationality in behavior. We are just almost to the end of this talk. So, essentially, AI-based systems are systems that act like human beings, and of course, now we say they think and act like human beings. What it means, if I am on one side of this wall and other side there is a artificial intelligent machine, if as an individual I cannot make out, I am communicating with the machine, and if I cannot make out that this is a machine or a human being, that's the time when the artificial intelligence has been fully implemented and the system works like a biological system without any doubt. This we have already discussed. Now, something that the work has gone through. Now, in the past, if I go back to 50 years before, when AI came in, or at the time when Dermot was there, at that time there are no robots. And the robots have become intelligent day by day. Today, if you look at it, for 10,000 employees in industry, how many robots are being implemented? You find Korea has the highest with 710. India doesn't appear in this list. Remember, fairly strong list. Countries have gone into large number of robots. When you say this is 710 robots in Korea for 10,000 people, it's something like a 7% of the workforce being implemented by robots. Remember, one robot can do work of more than one person. At least 3 persons work can be done by a single robot. And all this use lot of artificial intelligence today. It's almost the last one. This is something that has actually driven the today's computing industry, and in a way, the AI industry also. This is called Moore's Law. M-O-O-R-E, Moore's Law. Now, this graph has an interesting feature. Look at the x-axis. X-axis has got the year-wise component, 1970, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95. And this is the linear scale. For each one unit, you have 5 years. But the y-axis on this, the vertical axis, is a logarithmic unit. What it means, the first one unit, it increases by power of 10. The bottom is 100, next point is 1000, next is 10,000, 1 lakh, 1 million, 10 million, 1 crore. So it goes by power of 10. So every time in y-axis, it is an increase. Each step is a 10 times increase. In the x-axis, in the horizontal axis, each step is a 5 years change. It is interesting to see every 5 years, the technology has changed quite a lot. That means it is almost like every 7 years, every 7 to 8 years, the number of transistors or the number of computing elements in a single area of 1 millimeter square has increased by 10 times. 10 years, it has increased by 10 times. 15 years, roughly 15 years, it increases by 10 times. That's a massive change with respect to things that are happening. Now remember, this 1 to first 10 years, then it becomes 100 times, then that 100 becomes 1000 times. And with time, if you look at the time from 1975, not 75, 1971, you go up to 2019, you find the computing industry has changed by a million times. That means in the same space, we can put in 1 million more computing chips into the same space. That is why you find today, from 5 years to today, the computing power has gone up, the memories have gone up, the hard disk capacities have gone up, and computing society is changing. And this is one of the major driving factors of artificial intelligence, because artificial intelligence uses a lot of computation. So with this, I finish my formal part of the delivery. I'm open to taking up some questions if somebody would moderate it or things like that. Hello.
Yeah, thank you, sir, for such a insightful information. I got so many comments in the message box. People are getting a lot of information through your expert talk. Participants, if you have any query, you can ask to Patra sir. Participants, if you have any query, you can ask now.
Professor Patra, I have one query. Yes, sir. As you said that professions like lawyers and junior doctors will be at risk.
Yes.
Due to artificial intelligence. तो मतलब इस बात का ना जवाब हम दे नहीं पाते कि मैं एक टीनेज बच्चे की माँ हूँ और मेरा बच्चा 11th में जाएगा, लॉयर बनना चाहता है. अगर वो 20 लुकिंग एट फ्यूचर तो और वो टेक्नोलॉजी की तरफ इंक्लाइंड नहीं है, तो मतलब कैसे प्लान करें और कैसे हम अपने स्कूल के बच्चों को भी कन्विंस करें कि हाउ टू अडॉप्ट दिस टेक्नोलॉजी.
अगर हम देखते हैं सारा वर्ल्ड वाइड ट्रेंड्स ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी अगर देखते हैं, ट्रेंड में अच्छा अगर हम एनालाइज करें लॉयर का काम क्या है. देखिए, कुछ तो लॉयर होते हैं जो कि जिनका काम कैनॉट बी रिप्लेस्ड बाय एनीवन, बट आप लोअर लेवल कोर्ट में जाते हैं, क्या काम रहता है. एक तो रहता है जाते हैं एफिडेविट बनाने के लिए, हार्डली कुछ काम होता है इंटेलिजेंट काम. तो इस हिसाब से हो ये रहा है, ग्रेजुअली ट्रेंड इससे आ रहा है. कंप्यूटर्स वगैरह इतना स्मार्ट बन रहे हैं कि ग्रेजुअली द जॉब ऑफ लॉयर्स आर गोइंग टू रिड्यूस. ठीक है, लॉयर्स का काम मल्टीपल वेराइटीज है. एक है कि जो कि क्राइम इन्वेस्टिगेशन एंड वर्किंग फॉर ए क्लाइंट विथ रेफरेंस टू वेदर द इंडिविजुअल इज has been arrested for a crime or being tried for a crime or whatever it is. I'm not talking of innocence or not being innocent. I'm not talking of that. But lawyer puts up they details with facts and figures, with some data. इंटरेस्टिंग ये है, अगर 20 साल पहले आप किसी एक सीनियर लॉयर के ऑफिस में जाते थे, आपको दिखेगा पूरा उनके कैबिन के चारों तरफ सिर्फ किताब ही किताब है।
हाँ।
आप किसी लॉयर के ऑफिस में जाइए, उनके ऑफिस में किताब नहीं है। किताब कहाँ गए? सारे हार्ड डिस्क में है, कंप्यूटर में है। पहले किताब से ढूंढ के निकालते थे, इनको सोचना पड़ता था 1975 में ये एक केस हुआ था, उसी केस का निकालो। आजकल कंप्यूटर में कीवर्ड टाइप किए, 1975 का क्या है, उससे पहले वाले सारे केसेस आ जाते हैं उनके लिस्ट में। तो जो काम का जो लेवल है चेंजिंग, तो क्या है कि जो लोअर लेवल लॉयर थे उनमें से काफी लोगों का जॉब चला जाएगा, क्योंकि उनका काम नहीं रहेगा, बिकॉज वो लोग ज्यादा कुछ इंटेलिजेंट काम नहीं करते थे। तो यू हैव टू, वो इम्पोर्टेंट है। डॉक्टर के बारे में मैं इसलिए बोला, डॉक्टर के केस में थोड़ा अलग है। देखिए, गांव में डॉक्टर नहीं है, किसी को कुछ मेडिसिन चाहिए या कुछ तबीयत खराब हो तो क्या करेगा? आज भी हम क्या करते हैं, डॉक्टर मेडिसिन प्रेस्क्राइब करते हैं, हम इमीडिएटली, बहुत लोग होते हैं जो क्या करते हैं, डॉक्टर का मेडिसिन पे चेक करते हैं मेडिकल टर्म्स में। कभी कभी उसमें स्टेरॉइड लिखा रहता है, लोग जाके भी डॉक्टर को पूछते हैं आपने स्टेरॉइड क्यों दिया। ये भी होता है आजकल, क्योंकि लोग भी थोड़ा ज्यादा जानने लगे हैं। और ये जो कंप्यूटर रिलेटेड एआई वगैरह आ गया है, इससे इंफॉर्मेशन अवेलेबिलिटी इम्प्रूव। जैसे सर्दी होता है, जब बच्चों को सर्दी होना एक आम चीज है, जब तक बच्चे 4 साल तक पहुंचते हैं, हर सीजन चेंज में जुकाम होगा, या तो फिर डिसेंट्री होगा, लूज मोशन होगा, कुछ ना कुछ होगा। इज वेरी नेचुरल, क्योंकि उनका इम्यूनिटी डेवलप किया नहीं है। तो ये जो नॉर्मल चीज है, ये सब चीज तो डॉक्टर क्या करते हैं, सिर्फ कंडीशन देखते हैं। आप अगर गूगल इंजन यूज करो या कोई एक अच्छा इंजन आ जाए, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंट इंजन, आप बच्चे का सारा इंफॉर्मेशन जा रहा है उसमें, इट ऑल्सो लर्न्स इटसेल्फ, एंड वो इमीडिएटली बता देगा हाँ ये प्रॉब्लम है, इसको आप ये मेडिसिन आज दे दो, फिर जाके डॉक्टर को दिखाओ। हम भी वैसे ही करते हैं, अगर बच्चे को बुखार आ गया 102 का, इमीडिएटली पैरासीटामोल खिला दिए, फिर डॉक्टर के पास जाते हैं ताकि टेम्परेचर कम हो जाए, द चाइल्ड डजंट सफर। तो
राइट सर,
quality has to change. It cannot remain at the same quality with time.
Actually sir, so I got your point. The thing is the student have to become domain experts, they have to become expert. Job,
You have to be master.
yes sir, whatever job they will do, they have to be master. Thank you sir, thank you so much.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, yes please.
Yes, I am Kapil Hadia, okay, from Vadodara itself. Sir, you talked about that South Korea, they are using maximum robotics,
Yes.
And
Yes.
many individuals were replaced. But sir,
let me tell you, I didn't say individuals are replaced, but it is a risk of replacing human beings. I
Okay.
never said South Korea, many human beings have been replaced, but they use the maximum robots. Yes.
Sir, AI is there to help us, or do you means? I just want to ask you that what is your opinion in this case? Whether the AI is there to replace us or AI is there to help us?
It is the technology and how human beings use the technology. If I look at technology, technology is there to help us. Undoubtedly, there is no doubt about it. आज आपके घर में अगर एक काम करना है, जब मैं, I'll give you a very simple example. It's a very simple example. Many of you will be able to connect to it. In 91, 92, many of you were probably not born. 91, 92, in my city, a maid servant was available to do household work for something like 100 rupees a month. And at that time, the cost of a washing machine used to be something like 10,000 rupees. 10,000 rupees. तो लोग ये भी सोचते थे मैं 10,000 रुपया देके वॉशिंग मशीन क्यों लूं? It is better I ask a maid servant to do all the work at my home for 100 rupees. But you look at today, for the same work, the maid servant will charge me 2,000 or 3,000 rupees, and a washing machine is available for 20,000 rupees. That gap of 100 times has come down to maybe 10 times today. Now I find a washing machine is much more convenient. I don't need a maid servant to wash the clothing. So it is related to that. So technology is one, economics is another, social condition is another. So if human beings start to work properly, things are fine. अभी आप देखो जैसे 20 साल पहले when there is a road construction, majority of the road construction was done by manual labor. But today 10 लेबर रहते हैं, बस सारा रास्ता बन जाता है. डंपर यूज होता है, जेसीबी यूज होता है. It is completely mechanized. Now what is happening with that? Your quality of road has improved. Road creation has gone fast. जो रोड पहले 10 साल लगता था, अभी उसी रोड को बनाने में 6 महीना लगता है. So it's a matching between what you can do, what you cannot do, what you can achieve, what you cannot achieve, what is quality you want to achieve, and what is the quality you don't want to achieve. So we have to strike a balance between all these things. It's not an absolute term कि लोगों का नौकरी चला जाएगा. The job profiles will change. जॉब प्रोफाइल काफी बदल जाएगा. आज अगर किसी बंदे के पास एक जेसीबी मशीन है, वो जाता है काम करने के लिए जेसीबी लेके, he gets a good return for it because he is replacing the work of 50 laborers. मगर आप 50 लेबरर को क्यों नहीं रखते हैं? क्योंकि उसके साथ शायद ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम होता है काफी इंडस्ट्रीज में. I hope I've given you the answer.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you. What I consumed is that, means AI is not there to replace humans. AI is obviously there to help us, but in a different way.
Naturally.
It means we are decreasing the hard work. Means we are removing the hard work part from humans to the machine.
Quality of the work. One is quality. You see, you cannot achieve the AI quality by a human being doing your work. Now, एक छोटा एग्जांपल देता हूं. आप किसी बच्चे को बोलो स्कूल में, एक यू कट ए स्मॉल स्टिक ऑफ 5.3 सेंटीमीटर. आप लोग टीचर हो स्कूल में, एम आई राइट?
यस सर.
यस. आप क्लास में, अपने क्लास में 50 बच्चे होंगे, उनको बोलो आप जाके 5.3 सेंटीमीटर का एक छोटा सा लकड़ी लेके आओ, एंड यू फाइंड आउट द डिफरेंस ऑफ द रिजल्ट. आप देखोगे 50 बच्चों में मिनिमम 50 का लेंथ अलग होगा. आपने 5.2 बोला है, कोई 5.1 क्या होगा, कोई 5.2 क्या होगा. आप एक्यूरेटली देखो तो किसी का 5.25 होगा, किसी का 5.35 होगा, किसी का 5.5 भी होगा. सो एक्यूरेसी वी डोंट हैव. मगर आप अगर एक रोबोट को लगा के उसी कटिंग करोगे, एवरी पीस विल बी एग्जैक्टली 5.2 सेंटीमीटर्स. दैट इज वेयर द क्वालिटी मैटर्स. I hope I could give the right example to understand this part.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, there is another query
Please,
from Janapriya Janardhan.
Okay.
He was asking how we can explain the concept at lower classes so that the children will be aware of AI and its impact over lives today.
Okay. I think the kids, if you look at, you are looking at which age group, children of which age? We are looking at children of which age group? Can I know that? Because it depends on all that. Okay, I think grade 3 to 5. That's what it is. Yeah, I got the message. Grade 3 to 5. So if you're looking at children between grade 3 to 5, what you need to do is you need to do it with games or small numericals. These are the two things you can use the best. That's my feeling. Use a game, use AI to describe to play the game. There are games which use AI. You do one method, it will do another method. The example I was showing you, the search space with crosses and circles. Now, how does a child play with it? Every child loves to play these games. And if the child plays with a computer and finds that the computer is able to beat it always, how does it happen? Because it is AI. And the computer is able to think like a human being. And the thought that the computer thinks is much greater and much higher level compared to what the child is doing. But if an intelligent person plays, there is every chance he would beat the computer again, possibly. Okay.
So, Sir, I have one query, sir.
Yes, Silpa, go ahead.
Yes, sir. We teach Scratch programming, Animaker, and all for grade 5s and 6, sir. So,
Okay.
does this come under the part of introductory session for AI? Or
I don't think so.
does programming? My basic question is: does programming is like the introductory?
Yeah. My answer is yes or no. Why yes and why no? Any system that has to think and work and decide on the next course of action has to have some sort of a programming in it. Unless there is a program to take care of regular changes in the cycle of the work, the system cannot work. So the programming is essential there. If you don't have a program, it will not work. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Next question is from Vijay Kumar Singh. His question is, keeping in view of the Indian society and its economy, what do you see after 50 years from today? Okay. 50 years is difficult to predict really because the technology has changed so much. You can't predict what is going to happen after 50 years. What people are predicting today is what may happen maybe by 2050. People are not predicting anything beyond 2050. Do a Google on internet, you'll see that. The interesting part is, 20 years back, we never thought we would reach a condition of ICT what it is today. We never thought, because I give a small example. 20 years back, not 20 years, 25 years back, it was in 1995. It was in 1995, I wanted to send fax to UK from India. And when I go to a shop, a telephone, every house did not have a phone. ISD calls were exorbitantly expensive. To send a fax to a professor in the United Kingdom, I had to pay 100 rupees per page. 4 pages of fax to 4 different professors, I had to pay 400 rupees for sending. That too in 1994-95, when my salary was about 2,000 rupees per month. Not 4,000 to 5,000 rupees per month. Today, if I need to send a document to a foreign professor, I simply scan it and send it by mail or by WhatsApp or by Telegram for free. So technology has changed this playing field completely. The communication sphere has changed completely. So in that context, how the technology is changing, really we can't predict. I lived in a very small city, very small, not a very small city, I'll call it a large town or a small city. Now this city, at least 15 years before, had lot of thriving tailors. I never purchased a ready-made cloth for myself. Because you had lot of tailors, I go to a shop, buy my cloth, cut cloth, bring it to the tailor, tailor takes a measurement and gives me after 7 days. And at that time, I could get my pair of dress stitched with a tailor for half the price I had to pay at a market for a ready-made pair of garments which are not branded. But today we are in a situation where a branded pair dress costs less than a pair of dress I stitch with a tailor. Because the cost of tailoring has gone up so much. So the technology has changed, is changing almost every 5 years. You find a new version of the technology. The vehicles have changed completely. Some people say in 10 years from now, the petroleum-based vehicles will be out. You'll only have electric vehicles. That may come sooner also, maybe in 5 years. So 50 years, we can't predict. Simply, we can't predict. 5 to 10 years, yes, there are scopes to predict. Some prediction can be done. That's how it is. Next question, please.
It is there in the chat box.
Yeah. Let me take some question because which software can be taught to students from class 6 to 10 on AI. I'm afraid I didn't do a survey on it. Need to do something and get back. I can't give a right answer to this technically. But I think with the current online techniques, it should be possible to find out software that are useful. But offhand, I am unable to give you an answer. Okay.
So I like to add on.
Yes, please go ahead.
So we have few tools from Google, like Google Storyteller.
Yes.
And Microsoft has also introduced Google Experiments actually.
Okay.
Google Experiments with AI is very beneficial for students. Plus, Microsoft has recently introduced few tools. If we'll Google them, we can find them. Microsoft is offering AI app development without coding, where we have to just like pick and drop and arrange the things, and we need not to code. So these things can be introduced to students at junior level.
That's a good thing. I think people of all different schools, and naturally the information at every school is not the same. So probably you will be able to best help yourselves, as the last example came in. Somebody is asking, good experiment with AI is useful, sir. Yes, AI-based experiment are useful. I think programming is the best thing. Somebody suggested Python. Python is a good tool, and Python is being used in universities, colleges, and also in schools. I would think people use it more in the high school level, not at the lower levels. Python is a very, very good tool, and people can use it, and it's a very useful tool, and it helps in the higher studies also. Okay, that is an interesting question, sir. My question is, we have to make everyone AI ready for future, but everyone might not have interest in this field. How we can deal with this? I think we are mistaken. What is AI ready? Does it mean that we want to create everyone to design AI? No. We want to create people who could use AI for their own use. You see, when I have children at the school, if I'm from a village school, there may be a lot of children who will be going and doing agriculture, farming type of business. If I'm in a city where parents are service holders, they'd be looking at going for a higher studies, taking up a job. When you look at a job, the jobs could be different. As one of the participants said, her son wants to become a lawyer. So depending on what a child wants to do, you take up the AI with that respect. It's not very generalized. There cannot be a generalized answer that yes, you pick it up or you don't take it up, things like that. So it has to be very much with what the child wants to do and which way the child wants to progress. Deep learning is under machine learning. Yes, deep learning comes under machine learning. It's a subset of it. My question is, CBSE schools have implemented AI in middle level and computer science and information practices in grade 11, 12 using Python. Can we consider this as AI learning? Not truly, but what happens is if you learn AI at the school and middle level, if the kids are able to do programming at class 11 and 12 using Python for AI, then yes, it could be a full gelling of the things from fundamentals to writing programs. But then typically in schools, what happens many times, we just stick to writing simple programs for a defined task, but it gives them the skill set to develop their skills in the future. Can you give some examples to differentiate between machine learning and deep learning? I think this is more of a technical talk that will go into more technology and all that. And I think the whole group may not be able to absorb that. Machine learning is one where you use a machine to learn and do a thing. Deep learning is very much related to a set of networks which has got many layers, and then you do a learning of many layers. In fact, deep learning, I would put it as a subset of machine learning in a broad sense. What role does ethics play when we teach students to be AI ready for future? We decide the parameters for AI ethics. Won't it be a bias to sip in? Won't our bias sip in? Would request you a thought on this. I think ethics is an important concept, and anything without ethics is bad. Basically, if you teach AI and somebody uses AI not using ethics, probably is a big challenge. If you look at today, there are few very, very popular terms being used. One is called Industry 4.0, Society 4.0. There are a lot of things that come with 4.0. 4.0 means 4.0. So Industry 4.0 refers to how the industry is changing in the current scenario. Society 4.0 is how the society is gearing up with the current scenario. Now, AI is one of these components of Industry 4.0. Similarly, when you look at medicine, that is medicine 4.0 or medical 4.0 refers to what happens with medicine and medical fraternity with 4.0, industrial revolution 4. 4.0 refers to industrial revolution 4. If some of you are history teachers, you read about industrial revolution. In my school, I read about industrial revolution that happened during 19th century and 18th century in the Europe. Primarily production, steel manufacturing, making commercial availability of steel, iron, and all other things, vehicles being manufactured, and all that. But today we are into a world which is Industry 4.0, where robots are out and we are going with other things. So in that sense, we are also in a situation where people call things like ethics 4.2. So what is the ethics that has to be followed or that has to be looked into while we look into the industry with 4.0? So I think this is a field by itself. I'm not an expert in this and I won't claim that I can give you a right, what I call is advice or a right guidance on this field. But yes, there are people, and ethics is an important aspect when you look at AI. And that cannot be done without.
I hope, sir, there is no question further, further question. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your valuable expertise with us. It is very, very helpful for the school teachers to get some information regarding AI. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Thanks everyone for listening. And I hope it was useful, and it will be useful for some time.
Thank you so much, sir.
Good day.
All participants, there is information I need to share with you all. In the next session, which is going to start from 2 p.m., which is having introduction to Python, because as all of you, I saw so many queries regarding the programming environment and how you can develop some kind of system with the AI enabled. So Python is a very easy going programming environment. So one of the industry people who will be taking the class on Python, he will be starting with the basics of Python. That's right. So from the beginning, he will be discussing with the end of, that means there is no end of Python, but at least he will reach to some extent so that you can be clear regarding the basics of Python. So you please join us at 2 p.m. Before 2 p.m. you please join so that it will be helpful for us to continue the session smoothly. Thank you all. And there are a lot of queries which I found regarding how do we deal with the students of lower classes regarding AI. My sincere suggestion will be always example. If you consider in every example, whatever we are talking about, maybe in science or in mathematics, a lot of intelligence can be considered. So that intelligence we are going to develop artificially so that we can train a machine, we can train some system so that it will be behaving like an intelligent machine. So I'll be discussing in my session some sort of examples in that direction that will be helpful for you people. Also, I come to know some questions regarding machine learning and deep learning, as my research area is on that particularly. So I'll be also taking some example of machine learning and deep learning, how you can encourage the students to go for such kind of technical fields. So I hope with this we can come to an end of this session. We can start the next session by 2 p.m. You can go for the lunch. Thank you all.
Sir, I have a query. The link remains the same, right?
Sorry?
The link join the
Yeah,
meeting
link,
remains the
the link for every session will be same. There is no change of the link.
Okay, sir. Noted. Thank you, sir.
And another thing, regarding attendance and feedback, I got some queries. Attendance we are recording online, so you don't need to worry about the attendance because we are already taken. And those who are joining, also we are taking the duration of their stay in the session, right? So you don't need to worry about the attendance at all. And regarding feedback, we'll be sending the feedback form in due time. You be ready with your mail ID, right? You can check regularly so that you can able to fill the attendance form in the specific time, because we will not give separately the attendance, and we will not extend the timing which you will be giving for feedback of yours, right, to record. Anything anybody is having any general doubt, I can happy to answer you.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, my name is Kapil. I had mailed you. I didn't got the registration link. I had managed from my co-teacher.
Yes, yes. Actually, Kapil sir, there may be, you may not have sent the response form in due time.
No, sir.
I understand. So, but the system is automatically discarding those participants who are not giving in due time, because I have made from my side, right, as it is artificial intelligence. So I make my system intelligent. It will discard those who will not give the response in proper time, before the deadline, right? So no issue. Kapil sir, you can join the session. I'll be setting out your issue regarding the certificates. Okay.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Yes, Samyakandi sir, please.
Yes, I'm Glenn from Maharashtra. Actually, I have received an email today morning that this session for today is going to be cancelled. And after that, I have found another mail which says that this is a wrong email and somebody has created this email ID and sent this kind of messages. So unfortunately, I could not attend the morning session. Now I have joined with you. I think
no issue, because I have a software. Will be comparing the attendance from the inaugural session and this session, and we check, right, the continuity. So every day will be at the end. We'll be checking the continuity of the participants. Accordingly, we'll record the attendance.
All right, sir. But thank you so much. But my concern is that in the morning session, whatever has happened, that I have missed. So, is there any way
that is the information about AICT and the chairman of AICT, the director of Atal Academy, and some officials from government. They have shared what AICT is going to do, what kind of proposal they have for future, right, about the school education. So they discussed about that. And once I get it, the recordings, once I get it from AICT, I'll share with you.
All right. And actually, it is given in the YouTube. I have just seen that 1 hour long program, inaugural program. So it's fine. If that is the only thing that had happened in the morning, then it is fine. I have already seen that.
Yeah.
All right, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any other queries if you have? Yes, you can get the recordings on every day, right? It is our duty and responsibility to share all information which we are conducting. So don't worry regarding the recordings or our presentation slides, whatever. We'll be sharing with you all very soon. Okay, thank you all. Please, you can go for, you can leave now and you can join before 2 p.m. Thank you all.